Anybody out there?
And now, live from Manchester,
Hello to you all from the north.
One FM, live from Manchester, part of Glittering Delights. Mark Kermode is back, resplendent in, a hat and a hood. So
I know.
Sort of like got it covered both ways.
Can I just say, before we pass on from this, that the interesting thing, you know, you're saying before, just before that record about, you know, magazines which show pictures of men and they're not able to be in a state of excitement.
Yes.
Do you know what the connection between men not being in a state of excitement and Mull of Kintyre is?
Is this a joke?
No, it's actually 100% true.
Linda McCartney.
Linda McCartney, yes. That was
Holy
the thing. No, the connection was that the shape of the Mull of Kintyre is the shape which was generally used for a long time in court to demonstrate whether or not an organ was erect or not. The Mull of Kintyre, the angle of the Mull of Kintyre was taken, absolutely, 100% true. They hold up a map of the Mull of Kintyre, and if it was below that angle, then it wasn't. Thank you very much. That's absolutely 100% true, but you never knew that.
So that's how they measure it, is
That's
it?
how they used to,
So
yeah.
it'd be useful.
Does it look like that then?
No, that's more sort of, that's Lambeth, I think.
It'd be useful to have a sort of one silhouetted on the bedroom wall,
Yes,
wouldn't
absolutely.
it?
So you know when it's working.
Yeah.
When you're past the Mull of Kintyre, it's working.
Right, I think I'll cut this before it gets too laddish. I mean, God forbid. I thought you weren't doing anything in this. I said, do you want to talk in this bit, Lard? You said, no, you've done nothing but yabba, 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 and I've not even switched your microphone on, and you're still louder than everybody else.
See you again.
Madness, of course, from 1984 with Michael Caine, and I was watching a programme about him doing an acting masterclass, and he said the main thing was it was all in the eyes, you know, on TV and film, and if you were blonde or ginger or fair or whatever, the main thing to do was put mascara on your eyelashes, then people could watch your eye.
Top tips.
Yeah.
Don't put mascara on your hair.
Yeah.
Put mascara on your hair, that'd do
Oh,
it.
that would do as well, lad. Yeah. In fact, we're going to be giving away Get Carter a bit later on. You've got them all packed up here, haven't you?
Yes.
Very neatly, all ready,
Oh.
labelled, ready to send out and everything.
And I've got a pen.
And we've got a pen, so we're
No
sorted,
winners.
aren't we? No
Before we
stamp.
disappear into anything, I'll tell you my very interesting Madness Michael Caine story, very briefly.
Please do.
When Suggsy was on Danny Baker After All on the television, and you know we were playing, and so he was going to come on, and we wanted to play, and we were going to play a song with him. So he was there, and we said, "Oh, so you know, listen, we've thought about this really hard, but we would like you to play with us, and you know, we'd really like to play Michael Caine because we love that song, and it's really interesting, it's great, and it's really fab. And we really think it's the best one, and we'd like you to play it." And Suggs said, "Yeah, you're right. It's the best Madness song, and I really love it. I'm not on that one."
Right. Yeah, because it's the other one. It was
It's the other
Chas
one.
Smash. isn't
Yes,
it?
Chas Smash.
Carl Smith, who was the guy. Domestic crises, really.
Well, it just is. I had a leak. You know, I had in the flat that I live in. There was an explosion of water, and everything went, and it was all wet, and it was all electrical faults. And then it turned out that Cyril Doricott was in the studio today, so I thought, well, I'll just stay at home with the wetness.
Right, yeah. Got me. Well, leak was a sort of like leak is a very polite way of like, you know, someone opened the Purgow Dam in the flat above yours, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's very, very useful because now, you know when sometimes you're in your house and you can't figure out what to wear in case it's raining outside. Well, now it's raining inside my house, so I always dress for all weathers.
Right, and no electricity, so you're just reduced to battery-operated appliances, aren't you? Yeah. So, no problem there. I'll tell you what, I was amazed when I came in, and I saw a hoarding for Highlander 3.
Yeah, I know, it's
Can you
sad.
believe that a film as crappy as Highlander was at 1, let alone 2, gets to 3?
I know, but it's a bizarre thing though, because everybody's sort of saying, oh, you know, Highlander, particularly when Highlander 2 came out, which had some of the worst flying effects, you know, of a movie ever. But people went to see it, and it's got something, you know, it's got live on video. Of course, in between, there's been Highlander The Gathering, which is a kind of straight-to-video sort of TV thing in which, you know, there's some gathering going on. So
Is there a TV series on one of them funny satellite channels?
Yeah,
or
but yes,
something?
but over here it's available primarily on video. Highlander has got a really big following. And listen, hats off to Russell McCarthy, who that is a man who started his career directing Duran Duran videos and Queen videos, and so he's gone a long way from there onto Highlander, of course, which is
it's
now
arguable. But,
yes, arguable. So,
yeah.
can I say something very positive, which I want to say? I had today, this morning. I did this thing at the London Film Festival, which was a bunch of British directors talking about the future of the British film industry. And I just want to say this. There is a British film coming out by a director called Danny Boyle that's called Shallow Grave. And you know, every now and then when you see a film and you think, damn, that is really, really good, and I'm really excited about it. And anyway, Shallow Grave, it's coming out in early January. It's directed by Danny Boyle. It's most of it shot in Edinburgh. It's a kind of chilling, dark, black, satirical comedy thing. And it just makes you think, hooray, here is a British film that you can actually stand up with no embarrassment at all, say, This is really superb stuff.
That's very good, Marco. Of course, the problem is that the cinema is dead, isn't it? Because it's all going to be InfoNet. Apparently,
Is it? What's that then?
no one's ever going to go out ever again.
You're just going to dial it up.
You got everything on your screen or down the phone or whatever. Nobody is ever going to go out ever.
Well, if that's the case, why is it that when I went to go and see Frankenstein again at the Southampton multiplex over the weekend, it was packed?
Well, if you're going to nitpick, I mean, you've just spotted the tiny little chink of a flaw.
What, that you can't get in? You have to wait for the late night performance before you can get in.
Yes, all right.
And also, what with the new video recording, what with the new video recordings that changes, you can get to see things in the cinema that you can't see on video, and everything's banned on video nowadays, including Bad Lieutenant, which incidentally they are now, I think, going to pass. So all you people have been writing in saying you must do Bad Lieutenant on the cult movie spot. We will be doing it as soon as it gets a certificate.
Anyway, how's your house? Because last time we spoke, you couldn't come because the Purgow Dam had opened on your living room or something.
You know, the guy came round from the gas and he was very moany about it, and he said it'll probably flood through. This is probably not interesting for anybody else.
Well, I'm interested.
He said it had flooded through for 3 days, but it didn't. After 24 hours, it was all cleared up, and the electrician said you can get away with that for 164 quid. So it did.
Oh, that's not bad, is it? That's not bad. I thought
you want to do something that might be interesting for the listeners.
I don't see why we should break the habit of it. Anyway, okay, yes. What would you think that might be then?
Can I tell you what I've done this week?
Well, I don't know. Is that of interest to the listeners?
It is, yeah.
Oh, right. Enthrall us, Mark, in your mustard jumper.
Thank you. It's a nice mustard jumper. It's been a big anti-censorship.
That's more lemon than mustard, actually, isn't it?
Yes, it's a nice lemon jumper. It's been a big anti-censorship because anybody who sort of listens regularly knows, I know I've been droning on about censorship for ages and ages and ages, but two things happened. Firstly, there was a big conference at Hounslow, which we wasn't, there was a little bunch of people sitting around talking about the effects tradition, which was interesting, but a new magazine's been launched called Scapegoat, which is kind of this first British anti-censorship magazine, and the whole point about it is that it's opposed to all censorship for adults, and it's a good thing. And I wrote a piece for it. We went along to the launch and did this usual kind of, we have to stand up against all this stuff. In the meantime, Bad Lieutenant, which everyone's been writing in about saying when you're going to do Bad Lieutenant as a cult movie, has finally been passed by the BBFC for a video certificate, but it has been heavily cut. So I'm going to have a plough through and see what kind of quality it's in.
Right. Okay. And what about new stuff out this weekend?
It was interesting, wasn't it?
It was. I was rapt.
Interesting new stuff. There's this fantastic Mexican vampire movie called Cronos, directed by Guillermo del Toro, which apparently means Julian of the Bull. And it's really, it's fab. It's really, really great. And what's the best thing about it, the way whenever anybody does vampire movies, they turn them all into this kind of, it's a sexual allegory, it's all about sex, isn't it? But the whole point about Cronos is it isn't. It's about this guy played by Federico Lupi, who discovers this 16th...
Excuse me, Federico Lupi?
Lupi, yeah. It's a Mexican name. He discovers this 16th century...
Mad Fred is the translation.
Yes.
Go on.
Shall I carry on?
Yes, please do.
He discovers this 16th century device, which he clips onto himself, and it's like a vampiric device. But the whole point about it is that he doesn't get all lusty or anything. All he does is he has an incredible hunger for blood. And there is an extraordinary sequence in the film in which Federico Lupi goes into this incredibly clean bathroom, this toilet, and somebody has had a nosebleed onto this white tiled floor. And Lupi, who is so overcome by his desire for blood, not for lust or anything, but just for blood, gets down on the floor and licks this blood up. And it is absolutely one of the most extraordinarily shocking things I've ever seen in the cinema.
Well, do you know, it's strange you should say that, because at the Carsey just outside our office, someone had a nosebleed in there. And in fact, Barry off security, he said, do you know anything about this blood? I don't know why he's looking for us. He thought Lard had given someone a good hiding, I think. But anyway, what a fascinating coincidence.
Yes, it is.
Isn't anything.
Well, there's very little. There's the Specialist, which is the new Sylvester Stallone, Sharon Stone movie, which is just a major stinkeroonie of incredible proportions. And Sylvester Stallone is a bomb disposal expert, and Sharon Stone wants him to blow up Rod Steiger because that'll make her feel better. And it's just excruciatingly painful and generally rubbish. So yes, the thing to do therefore is to look forward to the fantastic new year. And two things which are well worth checking out coming up, which is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. They've made this new Freddy film, and just when you thought that,
I thought they said they weren't going to do anymore.
They did. The last one was Freddy's dead, and everyone was thoroughly sick of the whole thing.
The last one was Freddy's dead too. Not saying they'd milked it or anything.
Well, considering Freddy was dead by the first film, Freddy's dead was not actually saying anything new. But Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which stars Wes Craven as Wes Craven, and Heather Langenkamp as Heather Langenkamp, and Robert Englund as Robert Englund, and it's what they call a reality-based scenario. And shockingly, it's a really good film. And I'm thoroughly fed up with Freddie Kruger, and it was great. It's really worth checking out. But there's also the thing which is really exciting is this British movie called Shallow Grave, which was partially funded by the Glasgow Film film fun, directed by Danny Boyle, the best British movie I've seen in just yonks. It's like
Shallow Grave.
Shallow Grave. It's like it's going to do for the British film industry, what The Evil Dead did for for the American independent industry. It's blackly comic. It's dark. It's really well put together. It's fantastically exciting and just jolly good fun all round. Then it opens. There are some previews. I think it opens in London and Edinburgh on the 6th, and then it opens everywhere else on the 27th of January, and it's really well worth checking out, and we'll blather on about it next year.
What's it about? Because Shallow Grave, you only ever hear that phrase in connection with murders, don't you? People found in Shallow Grave.
Strange enough, there is a murder in it, yes. It's basically three flatmates in Edinburgh who, but they don't kill anybody. The three flatmates, and I just realised the total on a second. Three flatmates in Edinburgh. Keith Allen turns up at their flat as their new flatmate, promptly drops dead, and what do they do with the corpse?
Oh, right.
That's it. I know that doesn't sound thrilling, but it's really fantastic. It's exciting. It's it's the future of the British film industry, and his name is Danny Boyle.
Right. Well, you can't say fairer than that, can you? It's competition time, and I've had a letter saying that they're going to smash the radio if we don't decide whether we're doing last week's first or this week's first.
Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this week's first.
Do you think so? Oh, I'm not.
I don't
I'm
know.
Not sure.
I just think it makes more sense.
Does it?
Yeah, because otherwise, you know.
I mean, arguments for and against. What do you think? It is arguable. I think we should argue about it now and sort it out once and for all.
I think talk radio is the thing of the future.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Call in and let us know. In the
No,
meantime,
don't, no.
Let's do this week's first.
Let's do this
Go
week's
on, then.
first.
I think so.
I think so too. You should
You
never
think?
have said the other one.
Oh no, sorry.
Right, go on then.
Okay, in order to win a copy of Midnight Cowboy, complete with the original theatrical trailer and a documentary about the making of Midnight Cowboy. Quite a complicated question, this, I'm afraid. When Midnight Cowboy won the Best Film and the Best Director award, John Schlesinger wasn't actually at the Oscars to go and receive it because he was hard at work making a film which we have done on the Cult Movie Spot in the relatively recent past.
Well,
what was the film that John
Easy.
Schlesinger was making when Midnight Cowboy
That's
won
too
the Best
easy.
Film and Best Director
That's
Oscar?
too easy. Everybody knows that's Holiday on the Buses.
Oh,
and it's terrible. Actually, I mean, you think you're in with all the film people you met, Arnie and all this, but I've had a letter here from Barry Norman.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and he said, thanks for bringing some good old-fashioned northern common sense to Mark Kermode Cult Film Corner.
Yeah.
Surely all right thinking people judge a film on whether or not it's better than Carry On Camping. If it is, it's a good film. If it isn't, it isn't, you see. Yeah. And he said that you couldn't grasp that concept, but it is a good concept, and I'm sticking to it. And he also said, I enjoyed your acute dissection of Mutiny on the Buses. It was Holiday on the Buses, but I'm not going to be pedantic. Next time Mr. Kermode fails to turn up, how about a study of the 1974 masterwork, Confessions of a Window Cleaner?
Yeah.
Well, it's begging to be done again, isn't it? And it says, a performance almost painful in its accuracy and pathos about Robin Asquith.
So look at that letter.
So it's from
Barry Norman.
Can I just say,
Barry Norman.
I didn't know Barry Norman lived in Ebden Bridge and had a butcher's.
on the subject of, there's a letter here from somebody called Simon, and what he says is that the re-release of Straw Dogs has completely defeated his best chatting up technique, which is that he said he used to go into video stores and
set a man trap for girls.
That's right. And if the assistant happened to be an attractive young woman, then he would ask for straw dogs, and it would then take him like 20 minutes to try and find them, but in which, he'd win them with their chows, and then he'd win them with charms. In the end, he'll up saying, Alter Towers is great. Simon, it's still going to work, because Straw Dogs is still illegal on video, kid.
Ah, well, there you go. Right, okay.
What does he do again?
He goes into the stores.
Yeah, very good.
And he says,
Right.
Mark Radcliffe, missing you already.